Well, cows really have been adapted as much as they can be in a cross-breeding way, in a natural way.
What do you do? Just like put up some candles, some mood music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need a big
I'm sorry, that was really bad.
you need a big nitrogen tank, to freeze it.
Oh my
Anyway, no, they already are adapted by breeding, and I really don't think that the cow has much further to go. A dairy cow that is really highly bred, a Holstein dairy cow, can already produce about, I think the record now stands at 40,000 pounds a year, which is pretty. I mean, you divide 8.6 into 40,000, and you really putting that cow to some work. And I don't think.
Good grief! There's not enough chapstick to make that cow feel better. I'm like,
right. And as I don't know if anybody pointed out yet, but the natural feed for cattle including dairy cattle, is a forage-based diet, i.e. pasture, and basically the herds that are up here, that is their basic
like
diet.
hay and alfalfa.
They do supplement it with some grain, but the cow is adapted to take food that none of us can eat, and i.e. high fiber straw and just grass, and turn it into something that's a distilled, really great product for everybody to eat. And you wouldn't get that by, if she couldn't make that conversion. And a lot of places push so much grain through cows that they shorten their lives, and they make them more susceptible to disease like mastitis, which is
right. Any
a lot of
woman
women know
who's been a
about
mother
that.
knows what mastitis is.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of cows now, especially down south, are having to consume a lot of corn. Mm-hmm. With that comes a lot of disease, which comes a lot of antibiotics. What about the cows here? I mean,
well, corn is too expensive for us to get up here. What the grain that is fed here is barley from Delta, and it's like everything else up here. It's got fewer pesticides, if any, and pretty. I like to use the word organic actually, because although, as River and I have pointed out, it's been taken over, and basically trademarked in a way. But
I prefer the word
for thousands of years, that is how agriculture has been conducted, is organically, where it all works together. I mean, that's kind of the base of the word.
Well, I really think that that Alaskans want to be conscientious, like I said earlier. I think that they do want to support their neighbors. And sure, a lot of people are going to go to the supersize your Walmart place and buy stuff that has a carbon print. And I think about that too, like how much oil does it take to get a banana to Alaska?
Right.
A banana from wherever to Barrow has quite a carbon print on it. So, and thinking about those things, and people aren't going to just go crazy and turn their rooftop into a garden and be getting heirloom seeds. I mean, that's too much for most people. Mm-hmm. And you need people not to do that, River, right? So and it's bigger than that, though. I think that there is something about eating local. And I've read books about people that just ate local for a year. I would die without coffee and chocolate and wine, and there's not enough of it close enough. So, people have done these experiments. So can you talk about what is the state of Alaska doing to try to encourage people to eat local? I know we've got our great little logo, but people don't know what that means. They take it more that your parents met here and went on a hike, and that's why you're here.
We work with producers in several fashions. We try to help them. We offer grants to help promote their products. So we have a cooperative marketing program grant, which is it's to promote industry. So to help promote the Alaska Grown label. So if you have, like, let's say some dairy producers that want to get together and they want to do advertising to say, hey, remember when you're at the grocery store, look for the Matsu Creamery milk. It's in the yellow jug. They can apply for us, and we go, yeah, that's great cooperative marketing. It's, you know, and so we do that program, and we also offer Alaska Grown signage and twist ties and stuff for the farmers markets, and for anybody who would like them. We offer any marketing suggestions. People often will call us and say, hey, how do we do this? And so we obviously talk a lot within the industry to other producers, and we're, you know, read magazines, et cetera, about what's going on. And so we help, you know, if somebody calls, say, how do you set up a CSA, or how do you get a farmer's market going? We help to assist in those fashions. So we do that. It's kind of hard for, I guess I can say, hey, you know, we're doing this specifically, like we have this campaign that we run every year, because we don't have one of those campaigns. We try to do advertising when we can with marketing dollars. It just depends on what's available. But
Well, I think, how about this? Hey, it's a really good thing. It's a really good Alaskan thing to do. It's patriotic to your state to buy from your neighbors. It's better for you. There. I mean, it's that simple. It's like, take care of each other.
Yeah.
It's really, really basic. And if I want to buy ice cream or cheese or milk or whatever, and I get it from you, or I want to buy vegetables that are grown in the valley, you know, that should just make us all a little bit better. I mean, it's not against anybody else, but frankly, then you're the person that's going to be going and getting piano lessons for your kid, or taking your kids to hockey, or going out to eat. I eat at local restaurants. I don't, you know, that sort of mentality. If people just could change even a small % of it, you know, I think it would be better for all of us.
they say,
And we bring produce right into Anchorage at our farmers market on 15th and Cordova. We have a farmers market every Saturday, and you know, it's well attended, but there could be a lot more people attending it and buying from the farmers that are there. We have 13 farmers that are there every week bringing in produce from the valley for Anchorage shoppers, and so that's one option for.
And it's kind of, you know,
local,
welcome to
fresh produce.
France. No, it's kind of, it's really sort of a great thing, and a lot of people I know grew up with that. We're going to be right back with some questions for our panel in just a couple minutes. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad that I've got a lifeline, a phone a friend, a call your buddy, etc. We've got questions from our audience. You can come down and be part of the group on Thursday nights if you care to. 5:30 at Bernie's Bungalow is when we all meet up, and you can ask your own questions. How much is fertilizer used in Alaska, and does it represent a pollution problem?
No, I don't think it does. There's just about everybody in Alaska farms according to the Soil and Water Conservation District precepts, which have barriers along the water so that you don't, that runoff doesn't get into the streams. Alaska is very nervous, and rightly so, about its Andromeda streams, and they're protected.
I think the worst is where they have golf areas.
Golf courses.
Right.
Golf
Yes.
courses near water, that
Yes.
runoff is where it's the worst.
And just briefly too, we buy our fertilizer from Kodiak. It's a byproduct of Alaska.
Byproduct of Alaska.
It's a byproduct of fishing industry in Alaska.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
You know, other people in America are different to a, you know,
Yeah, right.
they've been privy to a different byproduct of Alaska.
But we don't have to import the fertilizer.
another thing some of our larger producers do also is called precision farming, where they do soil samples across their whole farm. And so whatever they apply is very specific. So if they're hiding one nutrient here, they'll only put a little bit of nutrient added there. So that what used to happen is they take a soil sample and they say, okay, in general, this is what your field needs. And so they would, you know, oversupply, but they didn't. But recently they got this these techniques, and so they're really working to do that as well on a larger scale.
How feasible is it to eat locally in Alaska? Are there enough farmers? Are there enough consumers?
There certainly aren't enough farmers. We could use a lot more farmers that do similar things that we do. And there's very little incentive. The state of Alaska has no programs to help farmers start at all. They have to buy land at a full price as commercial developers.
Right, well, we did have that homesteading thing. That was kind of a biggie.
That was a long time ago.
Right, it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, there
Right,
have been
that
times
kind
where
of
it was
thing,
valuable,
sure.
and so maybe if we could get our consumers to say to the state or to their legislators, look, this is really valuable to me to be able to buy from a neighbor. So what are we doing here? And that's kind of how you get things happen, you know, to get things to happen from what I can tell. Maybe she could tell them.